Episode five? Wow.
Yep.
Are
Are
we
we
are we
live?
live?
I guess. It's just me and Taylor right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Khan will be joining us in a little bit. Let me
Cool.
pull up
We're
the
talking. Oh,
chat.
Merry Christmas, whoever is watching.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Let's see. So yeah, this
Is it on
is
YouTube Live?
was yeah, we're live. So like Khan said, I guess this is episode five. That went by a lot faster than the last season when we did this.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea like how much time had passed for me nowadays. Like I
Yeah.
make pretty much all the meetings, but there's no. Oh shit! It's episode 6. It's been a while. Not
Yeah.
not so much. Or like, oh, it's week 10 or week 1. It's just I don't even feel that much different taking a break now than when we're working.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like a break to me.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
do you? I mean, you don't have to host the sessions every day, twice a day now, but I don't
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
the amount of work in between boot camps, at least for me and for this particular inter boot camp space is it's more work almost than during the boot camp.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still working just almost the same amount. Like I'm working my own
Yeah.
stuff and still promoting stuff, doing this. This morning we had the without hardware transmission, tuning to that. Uh,
Mm,
yeah, even the difference between like just resting or not resting is also collapsing. Not that I
mm.
never get tired, I have a lot of energy, but I think my fitness level also increased. But there are phases when I'm a little bit tired. But even the difference between fatigue and non-fatigue, it's also like collapsing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually pretty tired right now. I'm thinking after this, maybe taking a quick nap. What'd you do for Christmas?
Oh, Christmas, we yesterday, right? Me and my family went out to Chinese food, really good Chinese food around the area.
Mm.
Yeah. Yo, check
Is
out my
there a
new
lot of
pants.
Asian food?
You're gonna like my new pants. Look at this. Look at the
Or are those
pants.
cargos?
Yeah, nice,
Oh,
right?
oh yeah. Where are they from? Yeah, I do like those.
They're Jordan pants.
Those are Jordan pants? Oh,
Yeah, look at that. Look at that Jordan. Where's the Jordan logo? It lights up when under the right lighting. So, yeah, they
is
match
it
it
like
up.
one of those reflective kind of
Mm,
materials?
it's a it's a little bit reflective. You can see the logo right
Mm,
here. It's subtle, but yeah, see that?
nice.
Reflective. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what did you do?
what did I do? My wife's family came over and we ate hot pot. Other than
Oh, cool.
that, yeah,
What kind
I
of
eat a
hot
lot
pot?
of
Korean?
no, it
Japanese?
was Japanese. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
just like shabu. And
You
then
guys
we
make it yourself?
had
Shabu
yeah,
shabu?
yeah,
You guys make it yourself?
yeah,
Nice, nice. I
yeah.
know
I actually
Meichen has a tradition for hot pots too.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. That so today's I think the theme or the topic I don't know if we were live before Khan left, but it's
Oh,
being
okay.
reborn, being reborn in the
Yeah.
holidays or just with Christmas and the New Year. Um, this
Yep.
kind of
Yeah.
theme
Being
of
reborn.
birth.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that happens so often that it's almost normalized.
Mm. You mean
There's
like
like cycles of it. Yeah, death and reborn. Depends on how you want to look at it, right?
right, it depends
Uh,
like what kind
yeah.
of fractal layer you're looking at it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
could look at it from
Yeah.
moment to moment. You can extend that out
Yep.
all the way from like a lifetime, the thread of a lifetime. You could do it for seasons. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think just like when I was talking about how like the distinction between being fatigued and not being fatigued, working and resting, that duality is like collapsing, the causal loop is closing. It's like the more you can't even say in the deathless, can't even say
Mm.
I'm abiding the deathless, but the more, just for lack of better words. Like when you're in the deathless, even that process of being born and dying, be reborn, dying, reborn, dying, it almost feels like yeah, non-arising,
Mm.
non-passing. Yeah, but that's not to say that I don't experience rising and passing or anything like that. You can experience that, but still not get too hung up on either side of the extreme. Same with like being reborn and dying, just like even cohort after cohort, meeting main
Speaking of
fan this whole year. Yeah,
being
this whole year has been pretty interesting. Yeah.
speaking of being reborn, have you kind of somewhat recently, right? In the past few months, you picked up the violin again for the first time in a while,
Yeah.
and you just posted a picture with one of your sculptures the other day. Did it seem
Yeah.
like you had a renewed interest in like your art and
Uh,
different
yeah.
art that you maybe haven't touched in a while?
Uh, just the violin actually. I haven't really started sculpting or drawing yet, but I
Mm,
might. Who knows?
mm.
But even well, I think the video I'm working on right now it's a little different. It's quite maybe a little bit a move away, not away, but on one level away from just talking about Dharma.
Oh, really?
I'm still
What is
working
it?
on it.
Is this in the? I don't know how much you want to share about it then. Is this kind of in
Oh,
a
okay.
similar series as what you've been what you've kind of been working on? Or is
A little bit.
this
A little bit. Yeah. It's not that
oh
long. Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
oh,
it's about
oh
Discord actually, because I spent the
about
last
Discord?
cohort on Yeah. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. Yeah. It's because I spent the
Oh
last cohort like on Discord. Like it's almost like
yeah,
my
it's
new
been a
Instagram.
lot of time in the
Yeah.
last year on Discord.
On
Yeah.
Discord. Yeah. So like I never used Discord before. Didn't even know what it was. I mean, I've heard of it, but once CC started with the bootcamp structure, we started using Discord. Thank God, because school really sucked. We used to use school. That's Taylor's first cohort was when we were trying to use school.
Yeah, that lasted
Yeah,
that lasted like 3 months.
yeah, yeah, a little bit.
Or
Yeah, we
at
got
least I
through
was
some.
on it for 3 months. I don't yeah.
I think that was
Mm,
for same for us. Like it was like as long as however it's like what
mm.
3 or something. Yeah,
So
but Discord has been such a huge part of our life.
what is this new video about Discord? Like how is Discord just like the setting? Is that
A
like
little bit.
the topic?
Um, not so much the topic, but it's more like I'm kind of just turning my some of my Discord stuff, what I post on Discord, into a video.
Oh,
And then
I see. So like the
there's like
content is
images.
repurposed Discord content in a way.
Yeah, because I started a training log, right? Maybe the reviewers don't know this, but this is the first time I started a training log because we
Mm,
supposed to start training logs, right? And then Colin was like, Frank, you should start a training log. So I started a training
mm,
log for the first time. I never did that before. So that was quite interesting. I will post stuff on Discord that I would otherwise not post on like Instagram or something, or even share
mm,
publicly. It's part of the maybe like I guess you can call it like maybe the inner Franking show, but it's just basically me writing about life, like oh this is my weekend and things like that.
yeah. And then you went
Exploring,
from not having a training log to now you're one of the most active people posting on your training logs.
yeah, very much like I actually love posting on my training log nowadays. Yeah. What is this thing about? Uh, yeah, almost maybe exploring a little fiction writing because some of my Discord posts are like quite fiction like a little bit. Yeah,
Oh yeah?
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So a little bit of like a fiction element in there. Not fiction in terms of
Mm.
like, yeah, I'm still kind of describing just like, oh, this is my week, my day. But then I would describe it in a way where it's almost
Oh, but
fiction like.
you're like feeding a particular style of expression in the way
Ye-
that you're telling it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
a
I
little bit.
see.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost I guess maybe a little bit towards what this is what I would make if it was just like the boot camp, even without thinking about, oh, this is what I'm sh gonna share on like social media at large. Like if I was just
Mm.
sharing with you guys, or even writing a diary or something like that.
Mm.
So
How would you
I
say
guess you could say
your
mental art.
yeah, how else would you say your training log posts differ from what you share on social media?
Um, I guess we'll have to see, right? But
Yeah,
then,
that's true.
yeah, but then, now there's like a middle thing. It's like, okay, this is Discord, and then this is like YouTube, and then now this It's like a
Mm,
merging of
yeah.
the two. So
Different
it's like,
different
oh, okay,
tiers of
cool.
disclosure.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, different. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. If
Different
you want to
tiers
get
of
the full
disclosure. Yeah.
disclosure, you got to join the boot camp.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's speaking of somebody's asking if Frank, can I get an invite to the Discord? But yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Discord you
People
have
are
to
kind of interested in the Discord. Yeah, yeah. You
yeah,
have to join the boot camp.
yeah, I
Sometimes
gotta
I put
apply.
stuff. Yeah, I've been posting like just screenshot of Discord stuff sometimes here and there. Not too much, but people will ask because they're curious about the Discord thing. Sometimes I'll post other people's training log. You don't post that much because you're pretty busy with the podium stuff, right? But you
Yeah,
have your own. Yeah.
yeah, I want to. Before kind of really starting to mm, we've just gotten busier and busier. And I used to do a lot more kind of writing personal reflections or just fleshing out personal contemplations, which I still do now. But a lot of those I have it in my notes on my phone, but a lot of it is um, I don't know if it's as coherent if I was to share it, and I'd like to share it, but I would want to do a little bit of copywriting. So it's similar to what you're talking about, where it's like you give it a particular style or flavor of expression when you share it, and I just haven't found the time to. Yeah, one thing I have been sharing more though is Tyson recently launched his exertion series, and there's a whole exertion tab on the Discord now, and people are sharing a lot
Yeah.
of their training, right? Like their training history, like physical training. And everybody kind of
Nice.
logs their workouts and whatnot. And so I've just been putting my training up there, which has been cool. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I gotta get on that. There's a lot of shit going
Yeah,
on
you could
on
post because
Discord.
you record all your workouts and stuff, and so you could be yeah, you got to do one of those training logs.
Yeah, I could probably. Oh, one thing is like I started doing legs again. That's
Mm.
something kind of new
When
in the last few months.
were you training legs a lot when you were training for your 40 inch for your vertical?
Yeah, dude, that's all I did was train legs, pretty
Just
much. Yeah,
legs?
yeah, yeah. I started. You know how like I like to compartmentalize like my training, kind of like okay, in this phase I'm only gonna do bench, and next phase I'm only gonna do squat or deadlift. So
Yeah,
in the
you
phase,
alternate specificity, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, the vertical phase was right after I benched 300 pound and like 150. So after that, I was like, okay, I got the Bruce Lee physique relative strength down. Now I'm gonna train vertical jump. But then,
Mm.
what I learned during that experience, during that phase, was that just in life in general, sometimes in order to move on to the next phase, you kind of have to give up the previous phase, but the previous phase carries over.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
when I was
yeah.
doing a lot of vertical jumps, my main training was plyometrics on one side of the extreme, the speed side, the reactive strength side. And then the other side was max
Mm.
effort strength, and it's the power in the middle. So I'll do a lot of legs and then a lot of plyometrics. But the upper body strength that I gain, like even like shoulder, because shoulder is really important for vertical jumps, right?
Mm.
But also for bench. So my shoulder has always been strong. So the upper body strength that I gain, upper body explosiveness that I gained just doing a speed bench to increase bench press got carried over when I did the vertical jump. Because if you think about it, like when you do a broad jump or a vertical jump, you have to swing your arm like that. It's like the shoulders just as important as like your glutes and your posterior chains. So that got
Yeah,
carried
yeah,
over.
yeah.
But during the vertical phase, I barely did any upper body. I would maintain it, maybe do it just like once a week, maybe not even once a week. But I was maintaining the strength because I was training like squats and deadlifts and the nervous system as a whole. And my upper body maybe even got stronger. Maybe not the specific lifts, but overall, it got
Yeah.
stronger. But I didn't. I made it a thing to like put that behind me. It's like okay, I don't care about the bench or upper body anymore. So I did did this vertical jump, and the next phase was just purely lower body strength. Like that's when I got my squats and deadlift up to like 500, 400, 500 pounds. And then the vertical jump the training that I did during the previous phase, the reactive strength, the speed, the plyometric stuff got carried over to transferred into my max effort squats and deadlifts. And then so
Hmm.
it's just everything just gets carried over. Life and death, right? Being reborn and dying. It's like every
I
time
was
you are
thinking about that
reborn.
while you were saying that.
Yeah,
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 yeah. It's like
yeah.
you never
Mm. Oh, you're muted now, Frank.
shit. Can you hear me now? You can hear me now,
Hmm.
right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Sorry. I don't know why something's okay. Let's just go with this for now. Yeah. So that's what about you? Well, how are you relating to that? Oh,
With
so it's the
the
same topic.
yeah,
Reborn. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You know, taking the art and then bring it to. the present tense, but still kind of transmuted in a way where it's incorporating your current phase of interest or training.
Yeah. Yeah. But then
Yeah.
you also like those different phases of specificity. You got to see them all the way through. Yeah.
I think that's the
Um,
key. You got to see all the way through because like
yeah.
it's almost get exhausted, whatever phase that was, at least for me. Like, people are
Yep.
different. But
Um,
what
one
about you and your,
question that
oh, you got a
no,
question?
no, no. What was your question?
I was
What
gonna
about
ask
me and
your part of the journey. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember last core five, you're like, I kind of don't really care about doing photography that much anymore.
oh,
Or
yeah. Well, I don't feel like I don't feel the same like when I was really getting a lot of the reps in, it was like I was always thinking about it. Like, like you
Mhm.
kind of hyperfixate on it, right? It's like your 40-inch vertical, like you're hyperfixating on a particular goal, and everything kind of aggregates in a way where the conditions are being set that move you towards the accomplishment of that goal. And
Yeah.
I don't feel I don't have that same sort of like that's not where my attention goes, but I still take photos. Like I like
Okay.
even yeah, I still take photos. I've even been using my just my phone. Like your phone is really powerful. You can actually do a lot. A lot of the photos I've been taking with my phone, people, some of them they can't even tell that they're really surprised it's a phone photo.
What phone do you have right now? I just got the 17, just for the camera,
I
actually.
had
Yeah.
the 15 Pro.
Okay. 15 is good.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
you just shoot it. You just turn on the RAW format, shoot in RAW, and then
Yeah.
you can apply all your edits.
Oh, I didn't. Oh,
Yeah,
really? Oh, yeah. Teach me how to do that. Like, I'm still an idiot
yeah,
about
yeah,
like all the settings, even this mic.
yeah. The
Um,
for photos you can shoot in RAW, and for video you can record in log format.
oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'll look it up. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Um,
now I was just thinking that. So when you move from like, because I know you have a lot of camera equipments. Yeah.
I have a
And
decent
then
amount.
you,
Yeah,
but I always liked having minimum equipment. For me, it's
me
just
too.
like
Yeah,
a little less filter in the subject matter. So like subject
yep,
object will collapse a little bit more when like the equipment is minimalized. It's
yep,
easier to
yep.
get like
I
raw
That's why
outcome.
the phone is so nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Get
And besides my
different
phone, I
vibe.
have like
What
either a
camera?
little film camera or a little like a Fuji, the X100 series, and I just like how small and compact and like it's interesting, right? Because like a lot of with a lot of creativity, it's almost like you're empowered to be more creative with more restraints that are placed upon you.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I remember during our school, like I think some of the most creative works came from like really not really rigid, but rigid enough for you to be expressive. Like the teacher would give you a certain restraint, like okay, doing this
yeah.
kind of composition, this kind of color scheme. Yeah, but then that's where the creativity will kind of arise through that structure and vice
Yeah,
versa.
because it's how do you navigate this self-similar structure, right? And you get to see the
Yeah,
uniqueness of everyone's particular expression when it's the same format of the assignment, right? It's like use
yeah,
only
yeah,
this focal length, this format, so on and so forth, or this subject, this theme. Yeah. So,
yeah, yeah.
um,
Kind of like how, yeah, if you just have a blank piece of paper or a blank canvas, it's sometimes it's hard to know what to paint, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Well, that's interesting. But life is like that too, right? Kind of like
yeah.
it's within the restraint that you find freedom. Yeah, yeah.
The
Someone asked a question. Let's get
yeah, I
through
wanted to
that.
answer. Somebody asked about the times for the boot camps. Um,
Oh, okay.
the main cohort we have two sessions a day that are split about 12 hours apart. So it tries to accommodate for everybody around the globe. Um, the other mm, kind of smaller
We have like
cohorts.
six codes, six parallel codes
How many do we have now? We have
with
A,
A,
B,
B, C,
C,
D, E,
D,
F.
four.
Yeah, we have
He
six
hasn't launched
parallel
yet,
codes.
so six, it will be six, but five. But the main boot camp, which is what when people apply for the first time, they'll be applying for, is just which is I think that's the largest
7
group.
a.m.,
That's the one
7
that has
p.m.
two. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And Taylor is gonna. I don't know how much you want to reveal about D. I don't know if it's relevant here, but
uh, Yeah, I guess I mean we can mention it, right? It's going to be this next boot camp 8 will be the first time we have a and it's for those who have already gone through an initial boot camp. It'll be a view specific cohort that I'll be running.
Mm,
Mm.
mm.
There's this one comment here, Frank, about having how do you pronounce this name? Riley Magle Bagel, mentioning they have ADHD and it feels like they've always been locked into that fight or flight and it's being hard to shake. How, because I don't know if you suffer from ADHD. Would you say you suffer from ADHD?
Probably. I don't know, but I don't look at it for PhD, but I
Yeah,
do get pretty
yeah,
scattered a lot of the times. Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
then when I focus, I can really focus. But
I think that's
yeah,
ADHD, right? You're scattered, but then when you
but
but then you lock into
like, yeah, I'm
whatever can grab your
attention,
attention.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, but I never took medication for it, really. I
Mm,
actually think ADHD, quote unquote, again, I don't want to, I don't know that much about like clinically what would be considered ADHD, but I think a lot of my creativity or even meditation really came from that sort of, I guess, swinging back and forth between the extremes, like super concentration, super expansion, and then going beyond both. And same with like
mm,
bipolar, really, getting really depressed and really manic, and then going beyond both. And even now, even when you're not suffering, that tendency can still be there. Yeah.
mm. I think I
And
shared
it's
with you before. It was actually one of your videos that I was watching. Um, and I had started watching your videos again after I had some experiences and I was kind of like, okay, I really like it's not that I really need to, but um I didn't have like a dedicated formal practice up until that point. And
mm,
because of some experiences or insights or whatever you want to call them, I was like, okay, this is something that uh, every waking moment of my life, I can't look away from it anymore. So I think I'm gonna actually structure a practice and put
mm,
put effort, exert in this direction, right? And it was one of your videos
mm,
that was actually very helpful. And I don't think you even mentioned this way is you always talk about expansion and contraction. And I was just listening to one of your videos and I was listening to it like as if it was a transmission and something the kind of maneuver of being able to simultaneously contract and expand. Like,
yeah.
yeah, it just dawned on me. I was like, oh, okay, I got it. I see what you're saying.
Oh,
Because
oh,
it's like a maneuver if you were to imagine yourself, um, maybe if I was to relate it to the breath, it's almost like you're expanding into a smaller and smaller point while at the same time contracting into an expanse. And
I
you
like
can
how you say
follow that
contracting
kind of,
into expand.
yeah, contracting into an
Expanding into
expanse
expand,
and then
contracting into
relax.
expand.
Yeah, yeah, and then expanding
Relaxation
into a point.
contraction. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a really good way to put it. Yeah, yeah. Because yeah, I would say things like concentration require relaxation to really
Mhm.
concentrate on the object of meditation. You
Yeah,
got to
right,
be
right. And
relaxed.
you're
Tie
relaxing, you
into it,
imagine
right?
yourself expanding in a way,
Yeah.
right? But you're relaxing so that you can concentrate. You can then contract into it. Yeah. So it's an interesting seeming dichotomy, right? But I bring that up because there's another comment here in the chat where they're asking you actually how your nervous system comes into play with liberation and if it's always let's see
Mm.
if it's always contracted, does it interfere? Ultimately, is liberation to see through the ego? Well, minus that last point, it's like in regards to the nervous system. Um, I think the nervous system actually has a lot to do with it because it's
A
in a
lot
lot
to
of
do
ways
with it.
you're reconditioning the nervous system, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was
Yeah.
one phase where I kind of was self-invalidating how everything is mine, right? Like it's all spirituality, it's all like ephemeral. It's all about outer mystical states, neglecting the body. I'm not the body. And there was a phase when I was self-invalidating that. Where I was saying things like, "Oh, enlightenment, it's a physical transformation." Of course, you have to like self-validate that too. But that phase was
Yeah, yeah,
interesting
yeah.
because
Not
I really
substantiate
resonated with that.
physicality in that way.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
not
but it's
trying to
true.
read my physicality. Yeah, it is true. Yeah, on
Yeah.
that level, on that particular fractal level, it's physical transformation in the sense that every time I go through like a dying and reborn kind of process, it does feel like this nervous system either gets rebooted, recharged, upgraded. I'll look at myself in the mirror and then I'll wake up the next morning after a certain shift and then I'll look different. And I think we
Mhm.
mentioned how like people throughout the boot camp, they actually look different. Like Khan looks different like every day, you know.
Yeah.
And people do go through physical transformation. And I used to take pictures of my eyes and be like, oh, okay, even the way
I
like
did that too for myself for a little bit. I would take photo of my eyes because like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the it's almost like the structure of my eyes, the the sunkenness of them would change. Um, so the how my eyelids on top would rest would be different. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So especially like during the Kundalini stuff, it's like really obvious. So it's like, oh, this is actually you're just kind of even if you say it's so energetic, you're kind of untwisting and releasing blockage, energy blockages, but then that manifests like physically in your spine, like
Mm,
pop, 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 pop,
yeah.
over and over.
And so like in that you're reconditioning your nervous system, right? It's like and like in a lot of ways your the autonomic nervous system or the nervous system that like you it's like you have kind of like when you think about your breath, right? You can consciously breathe, or you can take your consciousness off it, and your body will still breathe automatically, right? And so
Hmm.
there's kind of like an automated responsiveness, an automatic reactivity, a sort of what you might relate to as like a kind of the autopilot that the body is on, right? And so that's the way in which the nervous system is conditioned, and
Yeah, yeah,
mm, we're not trying to rid ourselves of the functionality of not needing to like you don't want to always have to be like focused, have your attention resting on the breath, right? But
right, right.
there is a repatterning because it's like the automation of all of these nervous system responses is is
Mm.
is what maintains the twistedness of that structure that you're talking about, where then
You're
we
right,
we
right.
twist into these we're compressed, just like when we aggregate a certain way and we aggregate repeatedly, which is not apart from the way that we conceive we conceive of ourselves in the world. And it's like the nervous system over repetition after repetition after repetition compresses into the shape that we take ourselves to be, and that's literally felt as like this energetic twisting, and we get knotted, we have injuries, so on and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, compounding the patterns of it compounding over and over literally makes up the geometry of it being. And
Mm,
we're not talking about just on twisting, right? It's not just on twisting. It's really you're like repatterning. You twist here, you twist out there, but then you repattern something. Now you twist here, now you twist in here and twist out there, and twisting out, twisting in happens, simultaneously too. Yeah. Um, yeah,
mm,
interesting. Well, some other questions.
mm.
What are your workouts right now? Are you lifting more now that you're on break or
um i'm I'm tr am I lifting more?
you're the only
uh
one of
a,
us that
a
actually does
little.
cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
doing this one. What is it called? Burpees. I did my first run
Burpees,
of.
oh yeah, I did burpees with you.
Yeah, yeah, that was hard actually.
Yeah, because you're very explosive, but your stamina for those kinds of movements. You a big thing with actual CrossFit is learning how to like pace yourself and move efficiently. But you're so explosive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to learn. It's like, okay, how do
Yeah.
you
Have you?
stay at the edge, not just pull the one infinite move, right? But then that kind of requires I don't know. What does that require?
Yeah. Well, and it's
Like
also
just
like a yogic maneuver too, right? To like be
uh,
able to constantly be in tune with like just like any given if we use any given workout as
mm,
as a analogy for like skillful means in guiding a sentient being, something like that, right? It's like to be able to yogically hold the presence of mind to know where we're at right now, where the aim is, the nature of the course. So like if it's a race, you know the course, you know the hills, you know the incline, you know the weather. If it's a CrossFit workout, you know the loads, you know how you relate to those loads, you know your relative fitness, you know your competitor's relative fitness, and to be able to hold all of this like this structure, right? And in
Hmm.
simultaneity, and then
Hmm.
perform optimally through that course in relation with others. And so it's like that's also how it's a yogic practice, right? And you learn
Yeah, it kind
pacing,
of
you
reminds
learn
me.
when to push, when to ease off a little bit. Yeah. It reminds you of, oh, you're muted again, or I can't hear you.
Oh, it kind of remind me of what we were saying earlier about the restraint, like, having some kind of restraint and then you maneuver through the restraint.
Yeah.
It's like the course of life, right? We talk about maneuvers a lot. If you maneuver through the obstacle course in your sits, in your meditation, you also maneuver through the obstacles of life. And in
Hmm.
life is never just like, oh, just do whatever the fuck you want to do. It's never like that. You can have a belief
Hmm.
that, freedom about doing whatever you want to do, but freedom is also contextual, right? It's also about like how you maneuver through the restraint in this particular context. Just like parkour. We talked about that in the public
Hmm.
week. With, the person applying the disc parkour. Yeah.
Hmm. Have you been running, by the way? Are you still running at all?
No, I haven't really been running. I
Yeah.
didn't cycling up on the running part. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right, what about you? You go on
Yeah,
runs, right?
yeah, yeah. I go on runs. I live. I do a bunch of different stuff for fitness wise.
Do you have a routine
Yeah.
right now, or
Um, it depends what you mean by routine. Because like I think when most people think of routine, it's like if we just use bodybuilding as an example, it's like I do legs, push, pull, repeat, and I repeat that, right? And then it's like my first push day, I'll do horizontal and vertical. My second, I'll just do horizontal. I don't have a routine in that sense. It's more like a lot of it is you tracked your macros for a while, right? Like you counted
for a
calories.
while? Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
And then, like after like years of doing that, you kind of have an intuitive feel where it's like you can look at a meal and then like, oh, it's probably this much carbs, this much fat, is this much protein. And like, oh, I weigh this much, I did this much activity today, so I probably only need to eat about this much if I want to maintain. And it's like you don't have to, you know what I mean? And then it's like depending on if you like, it's like, okay, over the next 3 months or the next 6 months, I wanna just maintain. And you can kind of just intuitively gauge based on each day how much activity you do. If you're going to work out that day, you know how much to eat to fuel that, but also not too much so that you don't go past maintenance calories. And you can kind of just like auto-regulate that. But you've learned that skill by actually doing the meticulous counting and building that, like refining the precision of that, what was previously kind of just like vague intuition. My
Yeah.
my training regimen is like that right now. Like I yeah, and I try to maintain a certain level of performance in the various domains of fitness. So like a certain amount of explosiveness, a certain amount of just strength, a certain amount of aerobic capacity,
Mm.
and then also like there's the aspect of the just like how much pain are you willing to push or able to push through like mentally, and so then it's like maintaining all of those kind of performance standards in those relative domains. I just auto-regulate my training, like, oh, today I should probably do this, the next week I should probably make sure I do this, and I just feel it out. Yeah, but all of that is
But
because like, you spent
you
like
already
you
trained.
you
Yeah.
spent 20 years of doing the meticulous work, right? So you can kind of
Yeah.
auto-regulate that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really follow. Well, I do have some kind of a structure like you when I go to the gym, but no specific routine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the routine that you're left with when you let go of routines or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. But after exhausting your
Yeah.
experience
You
with
have to
routines.
exhaust it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah,
most people hear that, they'll just be like, oh, no routines.
yeah, yeah. And it's like, yeah, sure. But that's funny, right? Because then it's like you have the ground path and the fruit. And the
Oh,
fruit is
yeah. It's
just
the
the
same.
path. The fruit is just the
Yeah.
ground, but you had to exhaust the path.
Yeah. 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 Like when
Yeah.
we talk about this kind of,
Yeah.
when we talk
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
repeated.
Yeah, exactly. Mm.
Oh, by the way, the movie came out. I remember week one we were pushing that vibe thing.
Oh,
We were
Marty
showing.
Supreme? Is it out
Yeah,
now?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it just came
Did you
out.
watch
My
it?
brother went. No, but I think I'm going to. My brother went to watch it today, I think, or
Oh,
he's going
maybe.
to. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wonder if Khan's watched it. Or yeah, ask him when he shows up. I
Yeah,
um
yeah.
I want to see it. I haven't. When's the last time you saw a movie in theaters?
Oh, the last movie I saw in the theater was the new Leonardo DiCaprio movie. You know what I'm talking about? Um, Let me see what the name of it is.
Yeah. Speaking of movies I want to see, well, also, if there anyone in the chat, any good movie, like really good movies you've seen recently that have been recently released. There's a new Christopher Nolan movie that's coming out that I want to
Oh
see. I
yeah,
think
I
it's
just
called The Odyssey.
yeah, yeah, I was just watching the trailer yesterday actually. There's also another movie with Steven Spielberg that's coming out. It's called The Disclosure. It's about the disclosure of aliens to like a news channel or something.
Uh,
It's all very what that we talked about. Oh, the movie is one called One Battle After Another. That's the last movie I saw.
One Battle. Oh, 2025. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Was it good?
one of the big things. Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, it
It's got a
wasn't super
95% on Rotten
impressive,
Tomatoes.
but it was impressive, but it didn't hit me like as I don't know if anything hits me like I don't know. I can't say for sure if it's good or not, but I enjoyed it.
Mm.
Yeah. I've been watching the show called the Morning Show. Have you heard of the Morning Show?
I
It's about a
think
new
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
it's about like the news broadcasting. It's about a couple of anchors played by Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston. Those are main characters,
Mm,
but it's about like kind of like behind the scene look at it's a drama, but it's a lot of politics in there, a lot of like cutthroat stuff, like uh, corporate cutthroat kind of drama.
mm.
Um, about a news station. Yeah. And kind of watching that made me relate to it in a way where I couldn't before I started working with you guys, like as a team.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of similarity. Just like they wake up like 3:30 in the morning just to because they have to like go live at like 7 a.m. So every day they wake up at 3:30. So that's pretty brutal. We wake
Mm,
up pretty early. It's like a boot camp, but it's and then the sort of the intricacy of like the entire structure of the network, how everything like kind of so many causing conditionings that goes into making a show. And then there's a lot of like live stuff where it's kind of like you kind of performing, but it's also
mm,
about news, right? But then there's certain like performative elements in there. And there are certain people that would, are like, they'll go on air and then there are like people in the background, but then it's very intricate and then it's like really intense, like super intense. Like
mm,
the work schedule and how like every little thing just kind of connect and codependent rise with each other. Even the people that are just working as like putting the mic on people.
mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Mm.
don't know. It just made me kind of like, oh, interesting. I can kind of
Where do
relate
you
to that.
watch it
And then
on?
this,
What is it on?
it's on Apple TV.
Apple.
Yeah, yeah. There's also
Have
another
you?
really good show on Apple TV. It's about the hive mind. It's by the creators of Breaking Bad. Do you know that
Oh,
show?
somebody mentioned that recently. What? Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I think you should watch that one. That one is really good.
I have
I
so
just
many shows.
started watching it. I'm in like episode 4. Yeah.
What's it called?
Well, I can't even pronounce the name of the show.
Mm.
It starts with P.
Somebody's asking if you've
Uh,
seen Twin
oh,
Peaks: The Return.
Pluribus. Pluribus. Yeah.
What is this?
Oh, the Twin Peaks. No, I haven't seen Twin Peaks. Well, I used to love David Lynch, but I've never got to watch Twin Peaks. Maybe it was too old. I don't know, but no, I haven't seen Twin Peaks.
Mm.
We're just talking about like, oh, shit. We were wondering if you're gonna go see the Marty
Marty
Extreme. What was that?
Supreme.
Omar is Supreme. Yeah, I watch it.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
you
was it
did?
good?
Was it good?
I like it.
It's pretty decent. Yeah, pretty good. I'll say so.
Oh, okay.
Damn, the chat is fi on fire today, huh? There's a lot of chat. Just
I
checking the
don't know.
chat.
It's just I'm not looking at it, but Taylor just throwing me a bunch of questions.
What's going on?
That's a lot of questions. I don't know. We are just
We talked a
chatting.
little bit. We talked a little bit about fitness. We talked a little bit about Frank's art, um, the violin, photography, working out, the exertion program. But all of it was there was a thread through that of the topic that you kind of presented for us this week of this of birth and redeath.
Mm,
Yeah,
sure.
in that way. Mm. I have a question I want to ask. Let me see if I can uh uh
Yeah, what you're thinking
verbalize
about,
it.
just catching up on you guys as well. So yeah, I just finished a conversation with one of the upcoming bootcamp participant. He's from Sydney. Pretty interesting. Yeah, and he's down to join. So that's exciting.
Nice.
This morning was also talking to one another, and we got two more yes to join in cohort C. So I think some of the people also are asking question about bootcamp, right? Just so a reminding, guys, the first round of priority application is for December 31st. So right now, a lot of it is like we're rounding up and talking with people about, like what is it like and what options. The reason why I talk with today is because they were applicable for both options. So trying to like see the difference between we call 8C and 8B. I think a good way to think about it is more like a based mode and then the challenge mode. So it's like,
Oh,
what is the kind of difficulties or what kind of orientation are we going for? Because I think if we're being honest, the vast majority of people out there require some sort of a base foundational stabilizing of meditation, right? That's why like we even meditate. A lot of us start meditation in the first place. Mine is like too chattering. I can't calm it down,
Mhm.
or things are like it's like my nervous system is on fire
Yeah.
all the time. I'm constantly in fight or flight, those kind of things, right? We need to calm our ass down, like
Yeah, it's
stabilize.
like it's that's why I like foundations and fundamentals is a good way to look at it too.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like the fundamental
Because
and
you're establishing a base, right? You're being introduced to the actual the foundations. But then after you establish the foundations, you establish this base, you actually, you actually create a consistent practice. You do have, even though we don't push, we overemphasize different techniques, right? But it's like uh, sometimes you need to actually study, specify, like what you and I were talking about earlier, Frank, like specificity and seeing the specificity through. But then after that, it's like you're always refining the fundamentals.
yeah.
it's almost like the specificities. It gets like exhausted into the absolute, but then that's when the absolute, the relative, like the gap closes. It's like, oh, you still have the routine, but it's being perceived in this larger context, so to speak. It's not just about the routines anymore. It is the routine is kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but you
Yeah,
know what I
well,
mean.
ground path fruit is also another way of saying you generalize, specify, then generalize again.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
and then we use the
generalize, then
examples.
you specialize, and that specialization builds a path where you cultivate all of these skills and qualities, and then at the other end of that,
Yeah, yeah,
it becomes
yeah, yeah, yeah.
generalized again.
Yeah. The example we gave in the beginning was like the fitness journal, how like, okay, if I do bench, that get transferred into my vertical, for example, or just overall developing a more explosive athlete. But then that explosive
Mm,
athlete as a whole would loop back onto the specifics, right? So
Right.
now you become a more explosive athlete as a whole. Now when you do bench press, now when you do bicep curls, now you have
yeah.
more bounce in your lifts and your nervous system is more efficient. You can apply different maneuvers, so on and so forth. So that gap, right, between like the specifics
Mm.
and the ultimate, or like the general, like the content and the context, the gap also collapses.
Mm.
They feed on each other, so to speak. Yeah. That's another way to look at death and reborn, right? Because in a sense, the specifics has to die into the unborn, but then the unborn gives rise to the gives birth to the specifics and vice versa. But to do that, you have to exhaust, right? Exhaust the specifics. And you can apply to everything. Like everything in life is kind of like
I like your quarter zip con.
Yeah, we're quite zipping it up. But yeah, quite a zip trend. No more Nike tech.
Khan never got the Nike stuff. Oh,
Uh,
that.
I got one, but it's not the impossibly soft like you guys.
Oh,
I got a different one. Yeah.
there's a whole section in my videos about that. Like I put together. We were mentioning in the beginning. My next video is going to be about Discord.
About Discord?
Yeah, because Discord is
Oh,
such a huge part of my life. We're just because
yeah.
Taylor was asking me about like the death and reborn, if I was like more interested in art again, and I was like, yeah, in a way, in a sense, and also because like I don't really in the boot camp we have so many mentors now. Like I don't need to talk about Dharma so that much, so I kind of can maybe focus on just art a little bit and just the whole video that I'm editing right now. It's a little bit different. It's about this my expression on Discord, and a section of it, it's about Nike 24/7.
Sir.
Yeah.
Mm. I think the comment in the chat kind of cracked me up a little bit. I think it'd be more accurate to say that a Buddha's got that dog in him.
Yeah. Does a
The
Buddha
what's on the chat?
must a Buddha have that dog in him?
What does that
The
mean?
the question was, does a dog have Buddha nature?
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Buddha nature is a that's
It's
I
not a
think
good
that's a
translation I
topic
heard
that
this morning.
yeah, I think that's definitely a topic that we shouldn't talk lightly about just in this kind of format. That's something that needs to be fleshed out through kind of a relationship and many conversations.
Mm.
Uh,
Over this question reminds me of one of this article that I think I sent to Taylor the other day, 2 days ago or yesterday I think, about
about perpetuity, perceptive. I don't know how to pronounce that word, man.
what's the word again? Uh,
Perspicacity, something.
yeah,
I don't even know what that word means.
Yeah, I don't think I'm
perspicacity,
pronouncing. Yeah, yeah.
perspicacious. But I was sending Taylor's. There is this a research article which I highly recommend you guys checking it out. It's called, I think, let me check the title again. The title is "What is Wisdom? Cross-cultural and Cross-disciplinary
Mhm.
Synthesis is." And essentially, it speaks to the challenge of talking about these, like, does so and so have Buddha nature? Is like, what do we mean by Buddha nature? Is that
Yeah.
even the fundamental definition of wisdom in the West doesn't really have like the same, like in so-called Eastern, more specifically Buddhist tradition, where the prajna
Mhm.
point to something very particular, or vijnana point to something very particular, and then jnana point to something very particular. So then there's this great what is the working uh, definitions in the West for wisdom based on, I think, is Cicero, or some time back in either ancient Greek or in the Rome in those kind of Greco-Roman kind of time, where they have like one would be phonetic and one would be, I think, Sophia, which is one would be more like the wisdom that is practical wisdom, and one would be more of like the so-called theoretical or abstract
Mhm.
wisdom, which is now we say philosophy and like scientific.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Speaking
that's
of,
very vague,
yeah.
right? So
Mhm.
and very insufficient to describe a lot of different type of wisdom. So in this particular research paper, they go and look into the definitional problems and challenge of every word itself. When you try to pin the definition, it has a challenge. I think like many post-structuralist or postmodernist kind of thinker, they will say like, okay, it's the whole thing come together to form meaning in total. And when you try
Derrida.
to pin, yeah, Derrida, when you try to pin one particular thing, it just doesn't make any sense. But you can't even do one thing. You can't even define anything at all, let alone trying to like, this is what that means and
Mhm.
this is what this means. But in particularly with the problem of wisdom, is even more challenging, right? Because now we're talking about so-called highest truth and hidden truths and all these things. It is even more challenging than that. So in that book, then is now it says out of all the definition of Western and non-Western philosophies, what is the commonalities of attributes of what constitute wisdom? And in that particular articles, they also kind of challenge the assumptions that if a person realized transconceptual wisdom, it will automatically come with emotional regulation. They say it's not necessarily the case. So it's actually a big thing. Even like, for example, would anatta realization automatically come with a peaceful abiding? It's actually a question to debate. Does it actually means that you have a peaceful moment-to-moment experience? Not necessarily, right?
Mm.
Because it could mean that once you cut open the sense of the clinging to a conceited identity, shit could
You
really
feel
hit the
more
fan,
sometimes.
and you feel more and like more
Yeah.
so-called trauma or unrefined parts of
Comes out.
yourself is finally comes up.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very interesting
Some
article.
I used to say, yeah, I used to say that before Anatta, you can't really do shadow work. It's just like, do shadow work light. But then because the separate self will always hijack whatever you're doing as shadow work, and then you just kind of recompounding, you just
Mm.
create a cleaner or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think the word enlightenment also is kind of like a Western invention. I don't think the Buddha really used that word enlightenment. That's what I read. Like,
Mm.
I think I'm not sure. I think he used the word awakening, a little bit closer to awakening,
Yeah, those are
realization.
two
I'm not sure,
different
but
ways of using enlightenment, right? Like Western,
yeah.
the
Also,
Western
the Western
Enlightenment.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that
yeah.
came after the Western Enlightenment, and then people start digging around in Eastern spirituality. Like, oh, we have this thing, Western thing called the scientific enlightenment, and then now let's apply that to the Eastern, you know, philosophy or yogic contemplative
Yeah.
traditions of awakening, and we call that enlightenment. So immediately, when you use the word enlightenment, there's this black and white switch of like, okay, you're either enlightened or you're not. But awakening is more like, oh, awakening, it's like a process. So even just that word creates a very different ontological structure and how you even approach the path. But we don't really look into how these words really come about most of the time. And
Yeah, I
then just
think, but like
everything's,
we shouldn't downplay the Western version of
oh, not,
enlightenment
yeah,
either, right? Like the
yeah,
the the, um,
Nope. Yeah.
the
yeah.
capacity for the conceptual mind to build a working like model to how to see correlation and causality. That's insanely profound, right? It literally
Hmm.
allow,
Science.
yeah, fucking science. Like,
That's
I
a,
mean, I'm looking
yeah.
around, I see cranes. I fucking see building that's well insulated. Outside, it's fucking freezing and shit. And within here, I got this amazing candle that I could just bought for like fucking $5. And this microphone works. Like the whole thing works. It just fucking works. Everything works. I've got a beautiful what is it? Whatever this fucking thing is that's warming my feet. It's amazing.
Mhm.
Like it's this particular everything works like lamp, blah, 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 blah. It's talk about because well, if we only have the transconceptual, they say that there's four type of wisdom that they categorize in this particular articles that I find interesting. They say, okay, there's the practical one, a personal one, right? A personal one, which means like your own self-understanding, who you are, awareness of your own personality, your tendencies, and all that. But then there's also three other types I can say general type of realization. Um, One would be intuitive wisdom, intuitive insight. The other will be conceptual insight, and the third will be transconceptual insight, which is beyond own efforts to conceptualize, which is like the realization, right? The opening in that way. But a lot of times I see that the challenge is that people try to bypass or dismember from themselves the need to refine their conceptual insight. Like they think that this transconceptual insight would allow you to suddenly become very effective at conceptuality. Not necessarily, right? Like
Mhm.
we can have transconceptual realization and still be very relatively stupid. That's why, like,
So,
I probably bet that like a person who's trained in 7 years in a monastic order in Tibet does not know how to trade on the S&P 500. Pretty sure that they just don't know how to do it.
yeah. Yeah, I would say like in general, the West prioritizes like function and the East more like on freedom, maybe. You can one way to generalize in terms of how we go about what wisdom is. Right.
You don't think it's the other way? You don't think that the West is the ones who are focused on freedom and the East is focused on
Oh,
function?
uh, freedom is in like personal liberation, more like a freedom of the mind. Like at least when we talk about wisdom or enlightenment, but
Mm.
the West is more like, oh, this is if it works, then it's enlightened. Like, but of course they're not exclusive. But I think you mentioned that, Taylor, a little bit
No.
because you were trying to bridge the gap between the West and the East. You were talking about post-structuralism and
Oh,
Derrida
in
and
one
how
of the Luminous
yeah,
Heart
yeah, one
presentation.
of
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
luminous heart. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
When I mentioned that.
Mm. Yeah, I actually quite enjoyed those
But we need both.
presentations.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. It's like you need both, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
We were trying
I
trying to
remember I used
try
to love Steven Pinker. So I used to really love Steven Pinker. It's like my
Mm.
one of
I
my
enjoyed listening to some of his
people
stuff
like that.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really good at like dissecting language and society and things like that. He wrote a book called something about enlightenment. He used the word like the title of the book is the word enlightenment in it. Yeah. And then I was so mad at that time because like I was really into the Eastern Enlightenment. It's like, damn, people reading this don't know shit about enlightenment. That kind of enlightenment is not the real enlightenment. The scientific enlightenment. Yeah.
Oh, there's some question for 8B.
Yeah, I was
If
just
I
reading that.
if yeah, if I join cohort 8B with Albert, will it be possible mandatory to participate in the book club? That's number one. And number two, from the same person. And you talk about 8B being more about base mode, consistency, stability. HC is more about realization and not a realization. Is it possible to have a breakthrough in 8B as well? Um, so for the book club, what do you think, Taylor? What do you have in mind for that?
Um, the book club invitation is, well, it's open to all initiates, right? But as for people who are making their first entry into a boot camp, it'll be it depends. It's individualistic in that sense. Yeah, but
Hmm.
we do kind of have supplementary series that are brought into the boot camp maybe about halfway in for those who are interested in that kind of study to participate in. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So a lot of it is individual based, but usually the overall timing of when the book materials, reading, or extra materials are introduced once the stability has reached a sufficient degree. So that will be something like halfway through the boot camp. And if you are someone who's also learned by reading and you join 8B with Albert, I would highly recommend that you ask him for book recommendation. And Albert will also know a bunch of materials and can recommend you like, hey, for you right now, I think this could be it, the thing that we read on. So that's one way to go about it as well. Because I think we do have some of the like overall recommendation, like Not for Happiness or The Guru Drinks Bourbon. That's two of the books that we recommended a lot of people to kind of understand the kind of situation and what's the dynamic. Not necessarily that we are practicing Vajrayana. It's just that Jongta Kinte Rinpoche is one of the teachers out there that his thinking and the way he describes the different function of the path, we find to be very, very clear. Yeah. And in regarding to breakthrough in 8B, I would say, of course, there is opening for all sort of breakthrough as well. I'm not saying like there is one individual in 7B who realized anatta during the bootcamp and was I don't know if that's going to be the vast majority of the case. So it's not something like I would say it's not a guarantee in that aspect, but that is somebody who's put in the hours, very, very dedicated, and he's extremely sincere about his aspiration. And he developed a very, very effective working relationship with Albert. So definitely possible for breakthrough. But once again, this is not something that we can guarantee the same result for anybody because our journey is very different. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and fuck, like some of the people in 7C breakthrough is to realize I need more stability. and
Yeah.
they need to join 8B now. That's the breakthrough in
Yeah. I,
17.
I was just thinking about how to say that. Like it's not a guarantee for anyone in that way, right? And it really depends on because the different recommendations for where we place people in a particular, whether it's C or B, it's just that's what it appears that they need as their primary emphasis of training at the current time, right? But as Khan just said, like some people they'll do a round of C first and realize that they need to go to B.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm. Mm.
uh Before we were talking about it, I was just thinking about like the East-West thing. I think a lot of times with people in CC, or maybe the kind of materials that we're putting out, is like it's too Western for Eastern-minded people, but it's too Eastern for Western-minded people. And
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
we think that we just got along. Oh, you're so pragmatic. We're so practical. We're like down like straight up with each other. And then suddenly we shift into talk about reincarnation. I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, some people who's very so-called like esoterically driven, like one about hidden reality of the world, blah 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 blah. And now we're talking about like going to the gym and hitting these kind of regimen.
Yeah.
It's like, of course, the gym is not excluding like exclusively Western in that ways, but just this
Mm.
very
What,
precise,
what
empirically
do you mean I
driven.
need to get a job?
Yeah. Or like, yeah, we gotta get a job and like get a good living situation, man. Like no caves can provide that in this way. So it's just something in the middle that is quite interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching a video about Under Armour just right before the live stream about the rise and fall of Under Armour. How the Under Armour was like a number two behind Nike at
Mm.
one point. Like the founder of Under Armour, actually, the CEO and founder, actually went to my university. He's from the
Oh.
University of Maryland. And then one of the things that he did like wrong was he was trying to expand the horizon to too many things. Before it was just like, oh, he just wanted to wear something that's comfortable underneath the football pads, because like t-shirts and whatever, it's like really sweaty and like not very comfortable. But then he just created his underwear because he wants to wear that. So that was what got them like the business. Nobody was making that, but they were trying to make shoes, which worked for a while. And then he was also trying to buy apps. I think he bought like My Fitness Pal or just a bunch of apps. And then he also
Mm.
went on TV and debated about politics. He was just trying to do everything. Just he was trying to become a tech company at one point. And then the guy was like, okay, you want a brand to be successful, you just got to pick one little thing and then max it out, right? Uh, and I was like, that's why it's a little bit hard to communicate what the boot camp is about. Like, how do you even sell the boot camp? It's like all of existence. It's interesting, right?
Yeah, speaking one of the things that's hard to talk about, maybe we'll
Yeah.
talk about just a little bit, is that's a question. What's the second
Mm.
step for
And
CETA? Is it a guided meditation? I don't think we do guided meditation in CC. I don't think we
yeah,
ever do guided meditation in the format of the bootcamp because um
yeah,
well
even
there's
on public practice week, right? That wasn't
it wasn't no
wasn't a
guided
guided
meditation.
meditation.
You do whatever you like. Like
Yeah.
there's a hefty portion where there's a majority of just you being yourself with your own situation. You decide, do you want to calm your breath? Do you want to return with your intention? Do you want to scan your body? Do you want to relax everything? That's on you. So it's not a guided meditation of trying to reproduce the same behaviors in all the people. That's not what we do, right? That's very different.
Yeah, we
Um,
just have a conversation about what's going on.
yeah. We generate a context. We come to the shared moment of this is what it means, and now based on that, it's your choice.
Yeah, what do you want to do about it?
What do you want to do about it? Yeah. So the way we do that, right? And this veers to the territory that's very hard to believe. But Mei Chang, in his capacity and capabilities, hold the same transmission for all the sessions. So even when in session two, the transmission still hits. What that means is we open the transmission again. At first, people would just see that it is a recording, but come cohort 7, the most recent one, nobody ever talks about it being recorded. In fact, if we haven't told you that the production of it is at 7 a.m., you would think that it was still live. The conversation is fresh in that way.
Yeah, extremely relevant and intimate.
Yeah. So that's extremely strange for a lot of people. And at times you don't know how to react when this so-called recording is speaking to you at a later time, and there's 12 other people in the room, and you feel like this is directly addressing what's going on with me inside my head. That's veering into the trajectories of cities.
No, yeah, I would say to simplify, what we're trying to sell is one flexi moment.
One what?
Yeah. One flexing moment.
One flexing moment.
Yeah. Your entire existence is one flexing moment. There's no rising and passing, just one flexing moment. So people in like in the afternoon, they get the one flexing moment. Is people in the morning and in your life too, talking about life and death. It's just like being born or reborn, but this one flexing moment. It's like there's just this one flexing thing. It's like, is it rising or is it passing? Right? Yeah. But that one flexing moment is beyond time. It's a space-time moment, not just like time. Like it's like a circle. It's almost like a circle. And you spend time space. So you talk about the sphere, right? The four-dimensional sphere. That moment. That's a moment. That's the universe.
Mm. Do you, Frank, do you still have a lot of conversations, DM conversations with people who respond to your stories about spirituality and practice and whatnot?
Yeah,
'Cause I remember
I
that's the
don't think
thing
I
you used
post
to
that
do a
much
lot of. You
anymore.
would have
Yeah,
conversations and then even share those conversations, but I don't see that as much anymore.
yeah, kind of exhausted a bit. Yeah, I have a lot of that just goes into the boot camp. It's not like
Mm.
exhausted. It's like my attention is more directly. Oh, this is what I do like for work now. Yeah. I think
Oh,
before it was kind of a way for me to figure shit out too, by just like
Yeah.
engaging like that. Yeah, it's for me to like see my own view, see other people's view. That was before
I,
like I had like a teacher or like a team, but now it's
yeah, I mean, like with the amount of interaction we're having on Discord, like a lot of that need to know more, right? We're just chatting with people on Discord, and
yeah.
we don't have any time left. And so, to be honest, when I'm on my Instagram or something like that, I just look at
Just
funny
look at
memes.
memes.
Yeah, just look at memes.
Yeah.
Just like I'm not trying to get deep here, man. I'm just trying to look at memes and just enjoying myself.
Send me some shit.
Yes, sir. That will be a transmission twice for C. That's correct. And the second session most likely will be bounced and hosted by Frank. So Frank is in charge of, bouncing the transmission and holding that down for session two every day. So that's 7 p.m. And yeah. Oh, speaking of like moving into New Year's, so this is one of the things that I was just calling with Frank before that was calling with Taylor. But we got this show here, we got this Friday live stream. But moving in 2026, of course, we want to continue doing this live stream. building the show with you guys, but we also want to engage more. And one of the things that we will be setting out very quickly come January, depends on when we sort out some of the logistics. But Frank and I, we would like to have more one-to-one, direct one-to-one conversation with you guys. And in the spirit of, like building these communities and fluxing out this transmission to you guys, we want to have that conversations maybe from Monday to Friday, where maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday that I'm thinking is my turn to take the conversation, and on Tuesday and Thursday with Frank's turn to take the conversations. So more of that information will be out soon. I think I'm going to post more on Instagram in terms of how you can get in touch with that. And we intend that the vast majority of the initial one-to-one conversation, building goodwills, showcasing, like also like paying back to the communities that trust us in this beginning, at the beginning of our experience. So do a lot of the conversation for free. Um, and we try to do as much as we can and build out this field of practitioners together here, because that's the next stage that we want to take CC. It's not just a boot camp, but also it's an ongoing way to stay in contact and train with each other. And with that, there's also this with Taylor here. Um, I'm also in talks with Taylor about, building out based on Taylor's materials, build a course for you guys so that it's more accessible. Because I know that to like make that kind of commitment to a bootcamp could be a lot. So yeah, for some of you guys who's more on the fence and needing some time to figure it out, maybe right now is not the best time to join the bootcamp yet, but you know that you resonate with this, and sometime in the future you want to join. So yeah, there's more courses that you can practice on your own, and there's also like public, not public, but more transmission, more relationships and direct conversation with you guys. So that's something that's coming up. That's kind of like I'm bringing Frank and Taylor into my 2026 resolution.
You have somebody asking if that was for everyone or for just the people in the current cohort.
No, no, no. This is for people beyond the cohort. This is for outsider. Uh, but I'm suspecting that, we have enough people that's kind of like on the fence. So I think this could be an interesting way for us to get to know our audience. Yeah, I think a lot of times, like we just need to sit down, having somebody hurt us out and to tell us like you need to stabilize yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Just having a conversation.
Yeah, having conversations. Because like it's a beautiful thing that now the team that is handling the cohort is much stronger, and the structure of CC is like more in place, so that now we can also open this show up so that more and more people can participate. Because we understand that for the select few, maybe you are crazy enough, you're unhinged enough, uh, you want it bad enough to go for a boot camp. But for some of us right now, it's still the incubating process, right? So we just stick around for a while before you do such a big thing. Because like, man, that's one of the things that I forgot. Because throughout this recent days, I reflect more. For a lot of people, joining a 10 days Vipassana Wanka retreat is still a big deal. It's like I fucking completely forgot about that. It's like everybody in my mind, everybody already did
Yeah, it's a
multiple.
big deal, man.
Uh, in my mind, this is my blind spot. I literally thought everybody has already completed multiple Wanka boot camps. I was like, wait a minute, that's not the case. Because then I was just like, why is it so hard for people to just commit to 90 days of consistent training? Why is it so hard? I was like, wait, fuck. Most people is even considering doing 10 days in a row, let alone 90 days. So yeah, I mean, maybe I'm a little bit out of touch.
Hmm. I don't know. That's presupposing that people would think the boot camp is more intense than the retreat. Actually, I don't know if most people even would be able to compare the two, because some people might think it's more intense, but some people might just sit once a day and no silence. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if yeah,
I,
it's hard to say.
I mean, in that way, like a Wanka retreat is also pretty pleasant, right? Like, you just don't do much. You just go there, You don't have to eat clean. You need to clean a little bit, but pretty much nobody bother you. You don't bother anybody. You just sit there and like enjoy like a blissful absorption. That sounds like a pretty good time for me. I mean, if you want to push, you can push, but like nobody's forcing you to do anything on the wanker, right? Yeah. So I don't know, chat. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the 90 days wanker Vipassana silent retreat is hardcore? Because I see some of the YouTube,
90 days.
like
There are 90 days retreats actually. It's just a 90-day going cut, but there are 90-day going cut for real.
yeah. Yeah. What do you think, chat? Is it hardcore? I did one wanker when I was 19, and afterwards I was just like, okay. And then I did another one. I did a twin as well, and I did another one in Clear Vision in Australia in 2023, right before we start CC. So I did three different types of kind of like boot camp experience. One was 10 days. The Wanka ones is, the Wankas that's very popular. The Twim is also popular. The Clavision, only a few people know about them. It's very interesting. It's more uh, Advaita, I would say. Advaita flavors. A lot more Western mysticism. That one really like I would say compare the three. Well, the Wanka I did when I was very young, so that was challenging in its own way. But I would say the Clairvision one was very special in my heart. It was filled with challenging moments, a lot of confrontation with shame, a lot of letting go, a lot of openings, visions come for the first time in my life. No, not the first time in my life. Yeah, I also did a little bit of, Indian engineering. Uh, yeah. And I mean, like when we started to CC 1 and 2, I practiced along Frank a lot of times, also doing 2 hours ish, those kind of things. But all of that, I think, really couldn't compare with bootcamp structure. But, like all the things that I've done, I'm aware that it's barely anything comparing to a lot of the vigor, like vigorousness, the tenacity that some of the bootcamp participants have accomplished. We got both Frank and Taylor here has done tremendous amount of pushing in terms of physical exertion. We also have people on the team that have actual combat experience in war zone, like Marine. And they say, the boot camp is also pretty intense. Yeah, maybe what's hardcore about Wanka is because it's so different, but then it's become a challenge because it's hard to reintegrate, right? Because it's so different. You got like life in the retreat here, and then you got whatever else next. Because in my experience, whatever the momentum from the Wanka that I was having, I mean, some of the inside did stick, and it transformed the way that I see the path. But a lot of the momentum just dispersed after about 3 weeks, because the momentum of life and the structure of my habits and a lot of that just kicks back in.
Mm. How many Wanker retreats have you done, Frank?
3.
3?
Yeah. Last one was 2020. Done 3. I'll say they're all very fruitful.
Do you think you want to do one again?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. Maybe, but I just realized I don't even practice unless I'm in the boot camp. I practice a lot just with the group.
Yeah.
But even before, like maybe in between breaks, I would like, oh, I gotta do some Michael Tap. I'll just try to just maintain. I realized I don't even meditate outside of what I'm doing for work, which is a lot of meditation. But
You know, I've
there was
actually
I was pretty attached to practice. I was pretty attached to like, oh, if I don't have getting my
right.
dose in 1 hour a day, it don't feel right. But I have let that go.
Yeah.
Mm. Talking about the routine, right, Taylor? It's a good
Yep.
way to close that loop.
What were you gonna say, Con?
Oh, I was saying that I've after in between this break, I've actually been meditating more.
Nice. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Do a lot more body scanning. It's been very interesting. Yeah. It's going back to the
Yeah, I
basics.
don't know. Maybe yeah, maybe I'll do a Goenka retreat again. Who knows? Yeah, definitely not out of the realm of possibility. But when you guys ask me right now, I'm like, no.
Yeah, yeah. Likewise, I think we have a lot of plans and a lot of things to be done. Um, and also we factor in our own retreat, right?
Yeah.
Either that is a personal retreat, like taking it easy, focus on taking care, processing whatever we gotta process, or as in some sort of a team retreat that we're figuring it out. Yeah.
Oh,
But
I see this comment. To answer this question, I've done no Goenka retreats. Zero.
yeah.
I guess I'm gonna go get ready for the my next thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the way that we see we maintain momentum of practice in this kind of like constant mindfulness of whatever we're doing. I think in CC, especially the team members, there's just two simple rules, right? It's just one. The first rule is well, not really a rule, more like a culture, the norms. One of the norms
Don't
is
talk
we
about
work.
Fight Club.
Yeah, we work a lot. We've got a lot of projects going on all the time. The norm number two is you're not allowed to suffer. You can't suffer. But yeah, that means that you gotta constantly be able to vex that. Yeah. So Frank right now is taking a short little break and then instantly jumping for another. It's pretty much just like a weekly coaching session from Mei Chang to Frank, and then everybody in CC is invited to come and see what Frank is working on. That's every Friday after this. Yeah. Yeah, I've been also like to answer the chat. I've been also loving like body scanning, uh, but in a quite different ways. It's more like qigong kind of. It's not qigong. Not saying I'm doing that, but it's more of I guess pranayama, like drawing the energy from the breath and allowing it to illuminate, like tracing these. I think Taylor, you do this a lot when you say body scanning, right? You trace the contortion or the tension or the twist,
Yep.
and you trace that, and you're starting to see like this entire line of your structure
Yep.
starting to reveal itself, and then you're starting to trace it all the way, like all the way connect, and starting to see that. And one of the things I've started to find, like discover about it is like this long, like line of energy flows, and then there's sometimes it has like a rings of contraction, and not trying to break
Yep.
that ring, but it's more like allowing that ring to expand and contract until it's kind of even itself out. So
Yep.
kind of like massaging it. I literally hear my ears pop when I do it.
Yep. Yep. I noticed when there was a lot of untwisting that was happening, it was especially prevalent, but it's like in your ear canal. You notice that since we're like your body is, if you were to draw a line down your body and gravity acts in a compressing manner on your physical body. But the way we move, right, the way we generate force is as a bipedal creature. It's asymmetrical movement through multiple planes, right? And so it has that as there's a compressing force that just further kind of back to these kind of nervous system patterns that Frank and I were talking about at the beginning of this conversation. It's that twisting the body, the way that it twists to accommodate is going to be almost like in a mirror-like fashion. It's not exactly a mirror light, right? But it's like if you have an anterior tilted or an anterior or an external rotation on one side, you might have a compensatory exterior rotation on the other side or something like that. And so like with my ears, I noticed that like if one is kind of twisted in this direction, the other will be twisted in that direction as that
Interesting.
untwists that and decompresses. There's a lot of popping. There's a lot of um, mm, for work. We do a hearing test every year. My hearing's improved, which is funny.
Wow.
Um, yeah, yeah. Like the ranges of the what are they called? The decibels. Is it decibels? The pitch becomes
Right.
more accessible. The different tones and the various pitches becomes more accessible. Yeah. So that was
So
something I noticed.
what would you say is the effect that once is like decompressed is do you feel like when there's a massive cycles of because this is what's going on with me, right? Like I know I have a problem with like the left side. So there's a lot of imbalance. There's a lot of limited range of motion on my left side,
Hmm.
where it's like left elbow, wrist, a lot of it. So and a lot of it comes from the left hip area. And ever since like John did some work on it for me, like and teach me how to breathe into that, like nurture it with more illumination. So in the last 3 months, I've been doing it with more and more clarity and awareness and not trying to force anything, just rehydrate it, like you would say. And I
Hmm.
find out that it connects all the way from the left jaw and ear here, all the way through the left hip and the left calf and the left thigh, on the way to like the left toes and also like to these kind of areas going
Yep. Yep.
straight. Right. So I've found that as it's um, decompressed, there's more range of movement suddenly become more available.
Hmm.
But it requires a lot of stability and ability to stay with the sense of contortion because it can feel very unsettled. It's almost like poking at
Yeah, it
something
can feel very
very,
unsettling.
very vulnerable, very,
Yeah.
very vulnerable. Yeah.
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 Like,
Same.
like this, yeah, this is what I mean by like when it's very like touchy like that, can we be very soft with it? Very, very soft and
Mm.
gentle so that it can breathe and allowing itself to like find its own rhythm and starting to recalibrate its own cadence and pace.
Yeah. Yeah. In the beginning, I noticed years ago when I first really started, I don't know what you say, what you would call that, started mm, maybe becoming particularly sensitive and more precise with it. I noticed kind of the impulse or the reaction that starts to get very restless and uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like you said, unsettled. Yeah.
There's a lot of unsettled, the sense of restlessness in the body in that way, right? And I think
Yeah.
a massive amount of upgrade in the most recent boot camp for me was about having much bigger range of somatic experience, like a much
Yeah.
bigger range of ability to stay in the body. Like just now, I didn't even know that my ears has a constant kind of unevenness. So that's very
Hmm.
recently after the bootcamp ended. I'm like, oh, it's always there. I just didn't know to look into that. So now it's starting to unravel, unravel, unravel. I'm starting to see more and more patterns reveal itself.
Mm.
Even it
Have you
even
noticed?
changes my voice a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you noticed the same thing with like nostrils and eyes?
What do you mean by that?
The way air flows through each nostril when you're breathing, when you're inhaling and exhaling, the musculature. I don't know if it's exactly the musculature, right? But it's the somatic feeling of the you can actually feel kind of the shape of the how the air will flow through your nostrils is asymmetrical.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
the the mm, when you blink, when you rest your eyes, it's almost like if I was to relate it to standing on maybe an uneven or unlevel surface,
Mm. Right.
noticing
See you
that with
later,
your
Frank.
eyes.
Yeah.
See, right?
Maybe we'll keep the show going a little bit. Talking
Yeah.
more about the experience while Frank is moving to his next meeting. Yeah. So you're saying there's an unevenness between the two nostrils?
That's just something that yeah, as I was mapping these things out more, right? Like what we're talking about with the years, I noticed that with I mean, you can notice it throughout your whole body. Like you're saying, the hips, you notice, um, 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 the neck musculature, the way which one side might be slightly more elevated or or protracted than the other. Um, those are a bit more obvious, right? But even if you feel or look at your toes, like some
Mm.
people's toes, just like their fingers, like certain fingers might be at rest, slightly bent or rotated a bit more. And it's the same thing with your toes, the arches of your feet, and all of this is just kind of that same asymmetrical tension, and then the way the structure, different muscles will lengthen and shorten, and then hold that contraction, and your structure then rests upon that, like your muscular structure rests upon that. But then also that tension, and as it because this is like a process that's been ongoing since our birth, right? Like when we were born, and when bones are still hardening, then that tension also shapes the contours of the bone slightly,
Mm.
and that's something that you
Interesting.
start to contact. Yeah.
Would you say that this is on the fascias level, how at times it can stay contorted because it never have proper care and proper relaxation techniques or never been taken care of those things?
Mm, sort of like a way in which then that would be a way in which uh, I guess if we want to call that trauma can be stored in the fascia, something like that, and that's where it dehydrates and then calcifies, and then
Mm.
it takes trauma to undo that as well because you have to break up that calcification.
Mm.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, that's one of the first thing that took me down in this body scanning route very seriously in the last few months was I'm noticing the arc of my left feet is very different from my right.
Mm,
And then I'm starting to see that okay, the I mean like the sign, the symptoms was there, but I never really connect the dot together about how from that left tilted was then leading to the calf muscle and how that leads to the thigh muscle and how that leads to the hip area and how that leads to the core area and how that leads to like the sense of now connecting to this area being contracted and how that leads to like this sense of here. And then if I don't pay attention to it, everything is fine. But then once I'm starting to crack it open, now there's a constant sense of unsettlement. But then I'm fine with that.
yeah.
That's very interesting. Is like I'm fine with being that, but it is uncomfortable. But then as I'm keep working at it, like it's almost like these things starting to untwist, 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 untwist.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was still in school, and I was at the time I was on track looking towards going to physical therapy school. And I would do this thing where I would have the different, diagrams of the musculoskeletal system, right? And or looking at imageries from cadaver labs and actually looking at the fascia, looking at the tissue, comparing that to the diagrams, and then feeling it into myself. I was doing a sort of practice where I would I guess you could say yoke with the images of those structures, and you start to see the ways in which like your typical posture, your typical just presentation, you're all contorted, and it starts to feel panicked. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. And you know, like the most subtle, not maybe not most subtle, but the kind of most holy shit kind of moment of body scanning and the subtleties of this kind of contortion and this twisting of the line of our somatic experience is when I see how this left side of mine, this structure, maps to my wife's structure. That's when it's starting to get like,
Oh.
what is going on? But that range of experience is very strange.
Mm,
I think you know what I'm talking about, right? Like
mm,
it's like, what is going on with my body scanning? It's like it's not whose body is it that I'm scanning. It's going to get
mm,
very strange, very, very strange. Because like, so there is some experience I can share now. It's like a lot of times when I'm fully waxing it out, like all this untwisting, it will lead to a kind of like there is this ring that's here that is almost pulling everything like to this.
mhm.
Like it has this pulling. And so-called the picture is kind of put it together for a greater amount of relaxation when my wife's head rests here. And then it starting to become her own thing and my own thing. It's a very strange experience of body scanning as a couple together at the same time. Now, can you do that in a wanker fucking street? I don't think so. Now, nothing against wanker. That's where I got my start. So a lot of love for that communities. But you know, there could be a lot of strange stuff in this kind of actually opening these channels and these um kind of way of being, right? To be intimate with a moment, to fully like feeling, because it could be, you know, somewhat challenging at first, but I think with enough repetition we can be at ease in our room, in our space. But then when we have a significant other, a spouse, a partner, a boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever that we deem to be a significant other being there, the whole dynamic started to change. So then as you stay completely composed in your structure while also being aware of the other side, and that's starting to link together, and then you guys have an intimate being present with each other, and then you continue seeing how this process start to unfold, and that experience to seeing these two sides twisting in together and then starting to
Yep.
unravel. Yeah.
Yep.
So that has been very interesting to observe how then uh yeah, because in my experience, when I go into those kind of territories, when I hold that and allow the full untwist to happen, it's sometimes can be very challenging. It's almost like headachy kind of migraine of a challenge. It's almost like massive exertion.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of exerting. Yeah.
Ow.
Yep.
Very painful. Yeah. Those kind of situations can be very painful. I don't know if our audience can have similar experience or those kind of experience, but I don't really see any report or any kind of uh doc like documents talk about these kind
Mm,
of
yeah, I
territories.
don't think I've come across anything. Only talking with you guys.
Yeah. It's like a dance between present and being, and it's just a complete immersion in the room with your significant other. There's no more beyond this. Well, I mean, like there's more, but like the primary focal point is in the room with your loved ones. And then how do
Mm,
you allowing that love to vex to this being, to that being, and then doing this dance of it.
yeah, but it takes that. What is the word you used? Composure. It's like a collectiveness and a composure, right? And you're not resisting it. You're not resisting it because resisting it would be like it would kind of be kind of the perspective of something that is subject to it, but rather you're a conscious participant in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, participation rather than subjectification, I think.
I think we participate in it. We hold our frame. We are open to uncertainty because we at those moments we know the other side, the so-called the wife or the significant other. It's completely mystery, right? It's the black box. We can't we're not there to completely dictate or control their frame. But
Yeah.
we do have the certainty and the illumination to allow whatever pattern
Yeah.
they have to wrap around our pole of certainty. And then they will start to vex their karma out. So I think like given knowing this, then we become very sober about like I do not want to get involved with many people because it's fucking tiring to
Mm,
so-called process other people's problem. But it's our wife, so I mean that's kind of like what we sign
that's
up
what
for,
we
right?
signed up for. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I've been doing a lot of body scanning, just just very interesting. You have any parting words? I think we share a
Mm.
lot in today's episode.
Oh, to answer this question, yeah, my wife does train with me. Yeah. And she trains with CC.
Yeah. I do open a line of transmission with my wife. So I produce a weekly transmission just for one member, one audience. That's my wife.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I do that for my wife. When on the day we can actually sit together.
Yeah. So on Sunday, I do that. So I host
Yeah.
like a 1 hour of a sit. Last week was 1.5 hours. So it's like every week, me and my wife sync up our karma in that way. And it's kind of like a private diary
Oh,
where I share everything with her and she sit with that. And then we have a debrief about how that felt for her. And yeah, we go through that. So now it's like week 5 also. So it's been one more than a month. We do this protocol.
the last just yesterday I sat with my wife and we similarly we usually start we'll sip tea together and I'll ask her about since if I haven't seen her in a few days or if we haven't really caught up, I'll ask her, see how work has been, what's going on with her, and usually there's kind of a thread, right, that kind of then I know what we should talk about. But just yesterday what we talked about was, how would I summarize it? Mm, I was talking to her about where in the maybe in the future or near future what she will likely need to focus on a bit more in her training, and a lot of it is just kind of like developing the intellect. I'm not saying she's stupid by any means, but like actually, so all right, I'm not putting that out there on YouTube saying my wife is stupid. I'm just saying that we all benefit from kind of the training the intellect in that way. And so it was kind of a talk about what it was about truth, actually. It was like, how does she relate to truth? What does she think truth is? And the reason why we need to back to something else we talked about. I think I don't know if you were here yet, or if I was just talking to Frank. Why we need to be precise and like when we talk about. Oh, I think you were here. Was it when we're talking about like what
Wisdom
it's like
even
when
is.
we, yeah, what wisdom even is, right? What
Mm.
like how are we defining wisdom? And very similarly, it's like how are we defining truth? Like, are we relating to it as as an object? Are we relating to it as a process? And so we gave the example of like if she were to ask me, right, like say she texts me when she's at work, she's like, "Did you walk the dog?" And if I say yes or no, what is it about my response that makes it a truthful response? And then kind of walking through that example to illustrate, well, what do we mean by truth? And so I'm not going to get into all that here, but it's just yeah, we have to be
Hey,
very precise, right?
to be fair, I think it's not that your wife is lacking in the intellectual capacity, but it's comparing to you. Everybody lacks intellectual capacity, so it just
Yeah,
she just takes the hottest seat possible, being right next to you. So she takes on the bombs. Yeah. So shout out
yeah.
to Taylor's wife for being the front runners in the endurance sport.
She can. She's quite resilient. She can take a lot of pain. I'm very sweet to her, guys, but yeah, she's tough.
But all right, I think that's the concluding. So,
Yeah.
have we say Merry Christmas to our chat? Merry Christmas, guys.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Happy
Merry Christmas.
Holidays, Happy New Year. soon.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do think that we look forward also more many shows in the future. This time next week, it will be already 2026, another year passed. The official CC, I guess, would only have been 1 year old. So we kind of count the 1.5 year prior to that as like a stealth launch. So CC really started in the beginning of 2025, really. It's been 1 year moving into
Yeah.
this, so it's a lot of excitement. We have many plans now. We have multiple instructors, Taylor being one of them here, and Frank being the other. There's two more. You guys met them on the public practice week, and there's many, many other talents in CC that we are incubating, and can't wait to show you guys about them. And I mean, some of them are watching this as well. They're just kind of silent. Many, many kind of shows in the making. It does feel pretty amazing, just to witness the communities is blossoming. And I mean, it does feel like also like a very healthy amount of competitiveness, I guess, that at least on
Mm.
my side of like, we have a lot of trust and faith in the kind of service that we're putting it out. And I don't know, we want also to see a marketplace, see uh, communities online to, improve and help people who's want to get on the path, wants to seek truth or realize um, the fruits of all these awakening activities. This entire thing can be very, very confusing. So I think it's our resolution for next year is to be, at least on the side of us, is to be clear, is to be precise, and to show up and carry this kind of spirit in all the activities and in all the shows that we put out. We're still in very much in the beginning. I mean, I'm still like going to school to learn how to be better at designing a lot of these materials. And a lot of us is just stepping into our new position to, like producing more of the stuff for you guys. So we can have a field day, so more on that later. But I think if you guys are crazy enough, like crazy enough to join CC at this early stage, we're very, very grateful for you, and we want to do right by you with your time, attention, and effort. So the application deadline is still December 31st for people interested in joining us in this January. But we also are generating more spaces, more touch points, so that we can stay connected. Because I think at the end of the day, we just kind of like just want to it's kind of be kind of somewhat cheesy to say, but really trying to make some friends here. And yeah, just trying to like make some friends and also like just create a good experience. So maybe we can be friends for 3 months, or maybe we can be a friends for life. We'll see, right? Yeah. So Merry Christmas, you guys. Thank you so much for the trust in 2025. It's much more cooking up, especially with Mr. Taylor here. I'm already convincing him to be starting to pumping out like courseworks and a lot of more materials that is available beyond the boot camp, because I know like the boot camp participant can be very limited, and we only opening for very precise slot in the year. Sometimes you can't make that, so we have more touch points to join beyond that. So we're looking to scale CC really in 2026 to meet more people in that way. So Taylor will be absolutely instrumental in that process. So yeah, look forward to that. All right.